Did you realize that the actions you take in the first hour after waking up could be the determining factor in whether you live to 90 or beyond? It's astonishing, yet the majority of people are completely unaware. They unknowingly undermine their chances of a long life every single morning, often before they even finish their breakfast. In this video, I'm going to unveil the 7 morning habits that individuals who consistently live into their 90s and beyond have in common. And hey, race, the best part. The 4th habit takes only 30 seconds of your time, but it has the potential to add years to your life. These are secrets that most doctors won't disclose, yet the evidence supporting them is irrefutable. Let me tell you about Walter. At 65, Walter witnessed his friends start developing serious health problems, heart issues, cognitive decline, and mobility limitations. But today, at 93 years old, he still lives independently, drives his own car, and even volunteers at the local community garden 3 times a week. What's his secret? It's not genetics. Most of his family members barely lived past 75. The turning point came when Walter attended a health seminar at 65 and discovered, then implemented, 7 specific morning habits. These seemingly minor changes completely altered the course of his health. While his peers' health was deteriorating, Walter was thriving. When I asked him what made the difference, he didn't hesitate to point to his morning routine. What I do in the first hour after waking up has saved my life, he told me. And today, I'm going to share Walter's secrets with you. Are you ready to discover the morning habits that could completely transform your health after the age of 60? Let's get started. Habit 1. Immediate hydration. Do you have any idea what's happening inside your body right now if you haven't had a sip of water today? Your blood is actually thickening, putting dangerous strain on your heart and brain. The very first thing centenarians do upon waking isn't reach for their phone or turn on the TV. It's drink water. And the timing couldn't be more crucial. Renowned nephrologists and longevity researchers at Harvard Medical School have found that overnight dehydration accelerates the aging process by a staggering 31. Dr. Jessica Rothman, the director of renal health at Harvard, explains, during sleep, your body gradually becomes dehydrated, leading to a condition we call morning blood sludging. This forces your heart to work much harder and damages the small blood vessels in the brain and kidneys. Over time, this damage accumulates and significantly speeds up aging. Take Sylvia's story as an example. At 72, she was suffering from chronic kidney problems, constant fatigue, and concerning memory lapses. Her doctors were considering dialysis as a treatment option, but when she started drinking 16 ounces of water immediately upon waking, even before getting out of bed, her kidney function improved by 28 in just 60 days. My doctor couldn't believe the changes in my blood test results, Sylvia told me. He asked what medication I was taking, and I told him, just water first thing in the morning. Hey, race, what you should do starting tomorrow morning. Place a full glass of water on your nightstand before going to bed. The moment you open your eyes, before your feet touch the floor, drink the entire glass. And it should be water, not coffee or tea. Room temperature water is ideal, as cold water can shock your system. Make this as non-negotiable as brushing your teeth. After hours of sleep, your organs are desperately craving hydration. Don't make them wait another minute. Can you commit to this simple habit that could significantly enhance your kidney function and cardiovascular health? The longest living people in the world don't consider this an optional activity. They see it as essential. Do you already do this? If not, when will you start? Tomorrow morning could mark the beginning of your transformation. Habit 2. Exposure to natural morning light. Are you unknowingly disrupting your circadian rhythm every morning? If you don't expose yourself to natural light within 30 minutes of waking up, you're missing out on one of the most potent longevity triggers discovered by researchers. Studies from the National Institute on Aging show that exposure to morning sunlight within 30 minutes of waking increases melatonin production later in the day by 73. Dr. Andrew Peterson, a leading researcher in circadian health and aging, explains, morning sunlight exposure initiates a series of hormonal processes that influence everything from your sleep quality to your metabolism and even your cognitive function for the next 24 hours. Failing to get this morning light exposure is associated with a 37% higher risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases after the age of 70. Consider Benjamin's experience. At 75, he had been struggling with chronic insomnia that had persisted for decades. He tried everything, from prescription sleep aids to expensive supplements, but nothing provided long-term relief. Then, his doctor recommended a simple change: spend 10 minutes outside immediately after waking up, regardless of the weather. Within 2 weeks, Benjamin was falling asleep more quickly and staying asleep longer. But what surprised him most were the unexpected benefits. My blood pressure dropped 15 points. And my afternoon energy slumps disappeared completely, all just from sitting on my porch with my morning coffee instead of staying inside. Don't wait another day to adopt this life-changing habit. Make it your goal tomorrow morning to get some natural sunlight within 30 minutes of waking up. Even on cloudy days, outdoor light is 100 times brighter than indoor lighting and provides the crucial wavelengths that your brain needs. If mobility is an issue, simply sitting by an open window can make a difference. During the winter months or in bad weather, you might consider using a medical-grade light therapy lamp as a supplement. But natural light is always the best option. This isn't just about improving your sleep. It's about resetting your entire biological clock to slow down the aging process at the cellular level. Are you willing to give your body this gift tomorrow morning? What's stopping you from stepping outside? Your body is waiting for this signal to optimize your health. Habit 3. Gentle movement before breakfast. What you do before having your morning coffee could determine how your joints feel at 80. Most people make the critical mistake of remaining sedentary until after they've had breakfast, unknowingly triggering inflammatory processes that speed up joint deterioration. Rheumatologists at the Mayo Clinic have found that gentle morning movement can reduce joint deterioration by up to 65% in seniors. Dr. Lisa Monroe, the chief of geriatric medicine at the Mayo Clinic, states, "Our research shows that moving in the morning before eating activates a process called autophagy, which is essentially cellular cleaning and is vital for joint longevity. We've observed significant differences in inflammatory markers between seniors who move before breakfast and those who eat first." This discovery transformed Harriet's life. At 68, she was scheduled for knee replacement surgery due to years of debilitating arthritis pain. As a last-ditch effort, her physical therapist suggested 7 minutes of gentle movement immediately after waking up, before consuming anything. Within 3 months, Harriet's pain had decreased so significantly that her surgeon cancelled the operation. "I thought my active days were over," Harriet shared. "Now I can play with my grandchildren again." And it all started with those few minutes of morning movement. Race your action plan for tomorrow morning. After drinking your water but before having any food or coffee, spend 5 to 10 minutes doing gentle movements that lubricate your joints. This isn't about intense exercise. It's about movements that feel good. Try making small circular motions with your ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, and wrists. Stand up and gently sway from side to side. If you can, touch your toes, or just bend forward slightly. The key is to engage in continuous, gentle movement that wakes up your joints and muscles. Can you feel how stiff your body is when you first wake up? That's a clear signal. Don't ignore it. This short window of opportunity can activate longevity-promoting pathways that otherwise remain dormant if you stay still. Will you prioritize these few minutes tomorrow to protect your joints for decades to come? Imagine being able to move with ease at 85 or 90. Those who achieve this aren't just genetically fortunate. They consistently practice this morning ritual. Will you join them? Habit 4. The 30-second breathing practice. This 30-second breathing habit is the single most powerful longevity practice that nearly all people over 90 have in common. Yet most people completely overlook it. What if I told you that the way you breathe in the morning can set your stress response for the entire day, potentially adding or subtracting years from your life? Researchers from the Blue Zones, regions where people commonly live past 100, have documented that centenarians practice specific breathing patterns that can reduce cellular stress by up to 48. Dr. Michael Cohen, who studies longevity practices in Sardinia, Italy, reports, "We've measured significant differences in inflammatory markers and stress hormones between those who practice intentional morning breathing and those who don't. This brief practice seems to activate the vagus nerve, essentially signaling to the body that it's safe to allocate resources towards longevity rather than just survival." In the mountain villages of Sardinia, where men often live well into their late 90s, researchers observed a morning ritual among the elders. Every morning, before doing anything else, they would stand outside their homes and perform a series of deep, rhythmic breaths. When researchers measured their heart rate variability and cortisol levels, they found patterns similar to those of much younger individuals. One 96-year-old shepherd explained, "I breathe in the morning to prepare my body for a good day. If I skip this, I can feel it. By noon, my energy drops, and my thinking becomes cloudy." Race the 30-second practice that could transform your health. Immediately after drinking your morning water, and preferably while getting some natural light. Perform the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale quietly through your nose for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, then exhale completely through your mouth for 8 seconds, making a whooshing sound. Repeat this cycle 3 or 4 times. That's all it takes. 30 seconds to signal to your body to activate longevity pathways instead of stress responses. Does this sound too simple to be effective? The science behind it is clear. This brief practice has been shown to have measurable effects on blood pressure, inflammation, and stress hormones. Will you invest these 30 seconds tomorrow morning? It could be the best health investment you'll ever make. Are you breathing fully right now as you watch this? Probably not. Most of us breathe shallowly, using only about 30 of our lung capacity. Start changing that pattern tomorrow morning. Habit 5. Protein and fiber-rich breakfast. Is your current breakfast silently undermining your chances of living past 90? The reality is that what most Americans eat for breakfast is actually accelerating the aging process. And many don't realize it until it's too late. Nutritional gerontologists have identified specific breakfast patterns among long-lived populations that can reduce inflammatory markers by up to 53. Dr. Valerie Richardson, the lead researcher at the Longevity Nutrition Institute, explains, the first meal of the day sets the metabolic patterns that influence everything from insulin sensitivity to microinflammation levels. Our research shows that a morning meal containing at least 25 grams of protein and 8 grams of fiber creates a metabolic environment that supports cellular repair rather than cellular damage. Consider Gerald's experience. At 68, he was diagnosed with prediabetes and elevated inflammatory markers. Despite not being overweight, his doctor predicted that he would develop full-blown diabetes within 2 years. Instead of immediately starting medication, Gerald worked with a nutritionist to revamp his breakfast. He switched from his usual toast and coffee to a protein and fiber-rich meal. 6 months later, his blood test results had returned to normal. The only thing I changed was my breakfast. Gerald emphasized, my doctor couldn't believe it was possible to reverse the situation just by changing one meal. Here's the formula for a longevity-promoting morning meal. Combine a high-quality protein source such as eggs, Greek yogurt, or plant-based protein if you prefer with fiber-rich foods like berries, chia seeds, oats, or vegetables. Add a source of healthy fat, such as avocado, nuts, or olive oil, and avoid refined carbohydrates completely before 10:00 a.m., as they cause insulin spikes that accelerate aging. Can you make this change tomorrow morning? The great thing about this habit is that it doesn't require any extra time. You're already having breakfast. You're just changing what you eat to activate longevity pathways instead of inflammatory ones. Is continuing your current breakfast routine worth risking your health after 70? Make the switch tomorrow and you'll likely notice a difference within days. What will you choose for breakfast tomorrow? This seemingly small decision can have an enormous cumulative effect over the years. Habit 6. Morning social connection. There's a morning ritual that's more powerful than any supplement when it comes to extending your life. Meaningful human connection. Did you know that social isolation affects your body as severely as smoking 15 cigarettes a day? What most people don't understand is that when this connection occurs matters almost as much as the connection itself. A landmark 80-year Harvard study revealed that morning social connections increase longevity more significantly than quitting smoking or exercising. Dr. Robert Miller, who led the latest phase of this multi-generational research, states, we found that participants who engaged in some form of meaningful social contact before 10:00 a.m. had a 29% lower all-cause mortality rate over the study period. Morning social interaction appears to set neurotransmitter patterns that benefit cardiovascular and immune function throughout the day. In Okinawa, Japan, which is home to some of the world's longest-lived people, researchers observed a fascinating pattern. Every morning, neighbors would gather briefly before starting their day, sometimes for just 5 minutes of conversation. One 97-year-old woman explained, if I don't talk to someone in the morning, my whole day feels off. We check on each other every morning. That's how we've lived so long. When researchers measured her inflammatory markers and compared them to those of socially isolated seniors, the differences were remarkable. She was biologically decades younger. Here are 3 ways to incorporate this life-extending habit into your morning routine tomorrow. First, make a short morning phone call to a friend or family member. Even 3 minutes of conversation counts. Second, if you live with others, create a meaningful morning check-in routine instead of just passing each other by. Third, If you live alone, consider setting up a regular morning meeting with neighbors or friends, even if it's just once a week to start. Can't do any of these? Even a friendly exchange with a barista or store clerk can provide some of the same biological benefits. The key is to make human connection a non-negotiable part of your morning. Just like brushing your teeth. Are you willing to prioritize this tomorrow? Your body simply can't thrive without it. No matter what supplements you take or what exercise routine you follow, human connection is essential. Who will you connect with tomorrow morning? Your body is waiting for this crucial signal to activate longevity pathways. Habit 7. Directed gratitude practice. This is the mental habit that people in their 90s practice religiously every morning. Intentional gratitude. But not the vague be thankful advice you've heard before. There's a specific way to practice gratitude that activates longevity pathways in both your brain and body. Neuroscientists at Yale University have discovered that morning gratitude practices can physically restructure the aging brain and reduce cortisol levels by 23. Dr. Sarah Jenkins, who specializes in neuroplasticity in aging adults, explains, we can actually observe changes in the brain on fMRI scans when seniors consistently practice directed gratitude in the morning. The prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for decision-making and emotional regulation, shows increased activity patterns similar to those of much younger brains, but timing is crucial. This effect is significantly stronger when practiced within an hour of waking up. Patricia's story illustrates this power vividly. At 74, she was struggling with hypertension that wasn't responding well to medication, and her cardiologist was worried about her heart function. After learning about the research on gratitude, Patricia started a simple morning gratitude practice, focusing specifically on her body and health. Within 3 months, her blood pressure had stabilized, and her heart rate variability, a key indicator of cardiovascular health, had improved by 31. My doctor asked what medication I had changed. Patricia shared. When I told him it was just my morning thought pattern, he was skeptical until he saw the consistent test results over time. He raced the 2-minute gratitude practice that transformed Patricia's health. Immediately after your breathing exercise, place your hand over your heart and name 3 specific parts of your body that you're grateful for and why. For example, I'm grateful for my eyes that allow me to see my grandchildren's faces. I'm grateful for my legs that still carry me where I need to go. I'm grateful for my heart that has been beating steadily for me all these years. The key is to be specific and direct your gratitude towards your body, not just general circumstances. This isn't wishful thinking. It creates a measurable shift in your nervous system function that influences everything from inflammation levels to your immune response. Will you try this 2-minute practice tomorrow morning? It costs nothing, requires no special equipment, and could quite literally add years to your life. Have you thanked your body today for all it does for you, or are you focusing on what's wrong with it? Your perspective can truly change your physiology. Now you know the 7 morning habits that could transform your health after 60 and greatly increase your chances of joining the ranks of vibrant nonagenarians. You don't have to be perfect. Even adopting just 3 of these habits can significantly change the course of your health. Remember Walter. He started with just 2 habits and gradually added the others. The key is to start tomorrow. Not to wait for some perfect moment that may never come. Your morning routine is like a program that either primes your body for youth or accelerates aging. Which will you choose? These habits aren't optional extras. They're essential practices for anyone who wants not only to reach their 90s but to do so with energy, clarity, and purpose. Which of these 7 morning habits will you implement tomorrow? Your future self is relying on the decision you make right now. If you found this information valuable, please hit the like button and subscribe for more life-changing health secrets that most people over 60 never get to know. Which of these 7 morning habits are you already doing? Let me know in the comments below. Share this video with someone you care about. It could be the gift that adds years to their life.